Hello everyone and welcome to another Getting Stuff Painted, my bi-weekly give or take update on things that have been getting painted for the various games that we cover on the channel. And there has been a large mix of things we haven't seen for a while. Very little Gotham City Chronicles for the first time in maybe 2 months. Oh, maybe more than that actually, maybe 3 or 4 honestly. I am still getting through the Gotham City Chronicles stuff, but I've been trying to work through backlogs to clear space for other things, because of course we have Blackstone Fortress coming soon-ish, TM, and also down the line Blood Bowl. So we're going to go from left to right, but we do have representation today from the Batman miniature game, Marvel Crisis Protocol, Gotham City Chronicles, and a surprise reoccurrence of Godtear, because I want to work through my backlog of Godtear miniatures, if for no other reason than to just get them off the table. Not that I have any problem with the miniatures, it's just the game doesn't have a big following, which is a shame, because it's a good game. Anyway, we'll start from left to right with a man who has been transformed into a snake, as is tradition, for the Cobra Kulayaki. No, not Kulayaki. Kulayagi? Oh, I've forgotten now. I'm getting it confused with Kulayaku from Monster Hunter Worlds. Either way, he has been given the serum and he is transformed into a snake. You can also spend faith points mid-match to turn someone into one of these snakes. Warp Lightning Green with a little bit of Plague Bear flesh to lighten up the stomach, and Gryph-hound Orange as well on him. Speaking of a regular soldier who may at any moment be transformed into a snake. I should have showed him first, like this is the before and the snake is the after, but it's just another Kali Yuga. That's what it is, Kali Yuga, I remember now. This is another Cobra Kali Yuga trooper, a basic henchman. I haven't done any of the special characters from the box yet. I'm working my way up to them because these are all just generic soldiers in the same kind of armor setup. So they're relatively easy to do, nice and quick. Same colours used as I just stated for the snake. So the next 3, Marvel Crisis Protocol, we have Miles Morales, Gwen Stacy and Norman Osborn. They've already been in one battle report. She will have seen them at range. Here's a closer look. White is always a very difficult thing to work with, and the top of Gwen's armour was no exception. I did use the Apothecary White contrast over the top for a little bit of shade. The Vulpus Pink for the kind of pinky purple parts of her armour and the interior of her head, with a little bit of, no, not Calgar Blue. Cantor Blue? No, that's too dark. Oh, the very light blue Citadel paint I've forgotten the name of, just to try and highlight the strips on the webbing type parts under her arms. And Black Templar as well, and Basilicanum Grey for the base. It's a nice model, I like it. I found it hard to work with because it required a lot of fine detail, and speaking of which, Miles is even more the case. And I was speaking to a couple of other people who were painting him, and we were in discussions about like, how do you do the red parts of him? Do you just paint him all black and then dry brush red, which I did not do. I was going to, but I decided it wasn't as easy as the way I did it, which was I used the red contrast, Blood Angels Red, painted the entirety of his upper body, everything that should be red, and then using a very small brush with just dabs of the Black Templar contrast, filled in the holes. It's not necessarily neater, but with the dry brushing I worried it wouldn't be as vibrant a red and it wouldn't catch all the detail I wanted, so that's the reason I did it the way I did it. It's up to you to decide whether or not you want to emulate it. If you do, Miles, stay in, there we are. And then that was Ultramarines Blue on the newspaper stand thing that he's jumping over. We don't have those here. Oh, there's a truck backing up somewhere nearby. I hope you can't hear the beeping. And then we have Norman himself, the nut job, struggling to get him focused, the Green Goblin on his glider that's kind of mid takeoff. Shylish purple with a dry brushing on top, Warp Lightning and Gryph-hound Orange for the pumpkin bombs he's chucking. The smoke trail was Apothecary White contrast with yellow mixed in and black mixed in while it was still wet. It's a fun model. Stereotypical classic Spider-Man villain, and he will be appearing in the next battle report you'll see, because the Spider Foes are going to get another showing tomorrow maybe? If not tomorrow, the day after. Let's do Godtear last. We'll just very quickly go over 4 identical hobos, which are civilian assets for Gotham City Chronicles, are going to be appearing in the next main story mission, not the next video, but the next story mission. complete with 40, I think it's called, an open bottle of bourbon or whatever, or whiskey, in their pocket. Slightly insensitive stereotypes in their design. But these are one of two types of civilian that came with the core box. The other being like businesswomen type. So yeah, they're going to be assets in the next mission. And then you'll have seen Spoiler and Batwoman if you've seen the most recent Plant Invasion. Here's a better look. Now her armour is purple, but Shila's purple was going to be too dark, so I decided to use Vulpa's pink, which is purpley as you can see, and I think that's like the perfect shade for how she looks in the comics. So relatively happy with how she turned out. Actually, I've done some touch-up work on her since she appeared in that battle report. Not particularly much, but just a little bit. The Batwoman mini, I hate the cape on it. I hate that it's up in the air like that. I think it's silly. Not too happy with it at all. Even ignoring the paint job, but yeah, the cape is just silly on her, but, you know. And that is Blood Angel's red contrast with a wash over. And then hot off the press, we have Commissioner Gordon. He'll sort of be appearing in the next battle report for Gotham City Chronicles, sort of. But this is his mini, classic Gordon. I quite like this one. That was snakebite leather for his coat, ultramarines blue for his trousers, Blood Angel's red for his tie, and just grey on his hair. A very, very light basilicanum grey dusting on his hair, so it's not too grey. So, then we have Godtear, two gods, their followers and their banners. Godtear might appear now and again in the future, and these are the two that were in the other starter set. The first starter set was Nia and Morgana, was that her name? Morticia? No, I think it was Morgana. So this was the other starter set that I decided to get out of the way. So we have Finvar, and then we have Titus. I don't remember what their followers are called. The colour scheme I went with for Finvar and his followers, I wish I hadn't gone with black for the hood and the under armour. I wish I'd gone with green, although that might have made it clash badly with the orange. But it didn't turn out too bad. What I do when I'm looking for how to paint a God tier champion is I Google their name, see what other people have painted them like, and then pick and choose one or multiple designs to kind of lift from. And his banner is a sword that's been stabbed into the ground next to a skull. It's kind of turning into a plant, which is pretty neat. Then we have his three henchmen. This one, I still remember this one because he has too many weapons. He has two swords on his front, he's holding two flails, and then at his back he's got two more swords in their sheaths on his back. That is too many weapons for a man with two hands. It's just ridiculous. But to show that they're all from the same faction, they follow the champion. Exactly the same colour scheme, they're just like mini versions of him. I used the same strategy for Titus and his followers as well, as we'll see in a second. And he is Finvar is a guardian champion, so he's all about placing a banner, moving a banner, protecting a banner, etc. rather than killing. Titus is about killing minions, which is a Maelstrom champion, I think. It's been a little while. I'm quite happy with how he came out. I pretty much copied the standard design for him. And I used one of the special Citadel paints to get kind of like the crusty earth base for him there as well. Not much contrast work done on these guys because they have so much silver armour, which is just Leadbelcher silver. This is their banner. Leadbelcher silver with known oil and or Agrax, depending on how I wanted the shading to be. If you just want it to be dark shadow, use known oil. If you want it to have a little bit more maybe rusted or tainted or not pure black, that's what Agrax is for. So yeah, numerous followers. I actually like how detailed his followers are. I was surprised at how detailed they were. This guy reminds me of the newbie hunter from Monster Hunter. Even though it is a lady, I think. But either way, even just the design reminds me of that particular hunter. The one that talks in monster puns and I despise. And then he's got an axe. So it's Yandan yellow, Ultramarines blue, the silver of course, and then the leather was done with wildwood contrast, the little bits of leather. And that's that. And then one more, lady with a spear, like a caveman type spear. It's not really a fancy looking weapon she's wielding. Now I did actually use a new contrast paint for her skin tone to test it. I don't remember what it's called offhand. I think it's called Fire something, but Fire is spelled F-Y-R-E. Oh, I can't remember what it's called, I apologise. If anyone's specifically curious, ask me in the comments and I can double check. I didn't have it handy to remind you, or to remind me rather. But that is probably just over 2 weeks, I would say, worth of new stuff painted. Feel free to let me know on Twitter. Show me the things you've been painting. I like seeing anything else you're painting, regardless of whether it's a game I play or not. Next time we're going to see more Godtear, because again I want to just get through it. We'll see some more Gotham City Chronicles, because I have to get them ready for the next report. And there's still Cobra to work through, and maybe some surprises. There is some stuff in the pipeline for the coming next couple of months. So anyway, I think that's going to do it. Thank you very much for watching this little update. Hope you enjoyed seeing some of the stuff painted and that it encourages you to do the same. Don't worry about whether or not you think you're good at it, just get it done. Grey shame is worse. Anyway, thank you for watching. See you next time. Ta-ta for now.